Have you ever finished a book or a movie and felt like you were actually saying goodbye to a real friend? Really felt that loss. Well, that feeling is absolutely no accident. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the writer's blueprint, the secret techniques they use to build fictional people who feel so real.
It really all boils down to this one question, right? Why do we get so invested in people who we know aren't even real? We cheer for them, we cry for them, it feels like some kind of magic. But it's not magic. It's a very specific and very powerful kind of craft.
And the secret? Well, it's all about illusion. The best writers are masters of creating a sense of reality so strong that our brains they go along for the ride. We willingly suspend our disbelief because that connection feels so genuine. They make the imaginary feel real.
So, it's super important to get this. In creative writing, character isn't just a person. It's a method. It's the whole toolkit, the entire strategy a writer uses to build that powerful illusion of a real, breathing human being.
So, how does a writer even start building this illusion? Where's the first brick you lay down? Well, it all begins with one single core component that basically acts as the engine for everything else.
And here it is. This is the foundational formula. Seriously, forget about their hair color or their backstory for just a second. At the absolute heart of every great character is one thing: what they want.
This desire, whether it's something huge like saving the world or something small like just wanting a little peace and quiet, that desire is the story's engine. It's the fuel that propels the character, and by doing that, it propels the entire plot forward. Without it, the story just sits there.
Okay, so we've got a character and they want something. That's a great start, but it's not a story, not yet anyway. To create real drama and to really show us who this person is, you have to put something in their way.
And a master of this idea was Edgar Allan Poe. He was one of the first to really nail down this theory, that a character's desire is basically meaningless if there isn't some kind of conflict pushing back against it. It's the struggle. That's what truly shows us who a character is deep down.
Poe kind of broke down conflict into two main types. You've got the external conflict, the battle outside. That's other people, society, maybe a giant storm. And then you have the internal conflict, the battle inside. This is the character's own fears, their doubts, their flaws. The best stories always link these two together.
Let's use Poe's own The Telltale Heart as a perfect example. Step 1, we have our character, a caretaker. Step 2, what does he want? His desire is just to have some peace of mind. But step 3, his internal conflict, he has this crazy paranoid obsession with the old man's glass eye. And that internal battle leads directly to the external conflict. He kills the man, and now he has to hide the body from the police who are knocking at his door. See how one flows directly from the other? It's brilliant.
All right, so we have the core structure down, desire versus conflict. But how do writers make that character feel, visible, tangible to us, the audience? Well, that's where we get into the art of characterization. I'm sure you've heard the old writing advice, show, don't tell. What it really means is this: don't just dump a bunch of information on me about a person, use specific techniques to make me experience that person as if I'm right there in the room with them. So, writers have 5 main tools in their toolkit to make this happen. What a character does, what they look like, their unique way of speaking, what's going on in their head, and finally, that fascinating gap between who they pretend to be and who they really are.
Let's just break down a couple of these because they're so cool. Let's take voice. Voice is so much more than just an accent or some slang. A character's voice is a direct window into their soul. It shows us how they see the world, what their priorities are, where they come from, everything.
This line from My Cousin Vinny, it's an absolute masterclass in character voice. In one single sentence, we get her accent, her blunt personality, the family pressure she's under, and her #1 goal in life. We don't just hear her, we get her. We know her.
And here's another powerful tool: exploring that conflict between the mask a character shows the world and the reality that's hiding underneath. That tension, between their public self and their private self, that's where so much of the juicy, fascinating character detail really lives. So we've built a solid, believable character. But how do writers push them over the edge? How do they go from believable to truly unforgettable? The kind of character that just sticks with you for years and years.
Well, the key is moving from what we call flat characters to round characters. Flat characters are basically stereotypes. The dumb jock, the evil stepmother. They're predictable.
But round characters, the ones we really remember, they're full of contradictions. They're complex. They're messy, just like real people. A hero who's secretly terrified? A villain who loves puppies? That's the stuff that makes them feel human.
And that brings us to what I think is the single most important rule for creating deep, complex, and believable motivation for any character you can imagine, whether they're a hero or a villain. This right here, this is the golden rule. From their own point of view, every single character is the hero of their own story. They do what they do because, based on their life, their desires, and their fears, they genuinely believe it's the right thing to do.
Just think about that for a second. The most compelling villains, the ones that really scare us, they aren't just evil for the sake of being evil. No, they have a whole worldview, a powerful motivation, a deep-seated belief that what they're doing is justified, maybe even necessary. In their own mind, they're the good guy.
And that leaves us with a final thought experiment. This isn't just a rule for writing, It's an incredible tool for empathy in real life. Think about someone who you feel has wronged you. Now, could you tell the story from their point of view? A version where they were the one who was right all along. If you can do that, that is the heart of creating a character and a connection that feels truly, deeply alive.